Again, welcome to the Oracle Analytics Live for May. We have lots of exciting things to share with you. As always, feel free to chat with us in the chat. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A section here. We will save time at the end to answer them live for you. This is our safe harbor statement. Just going to flash this up here. I am recording this. It will be on the Oracle Analytics YouTube page and also the Cloud Customer Connect community events page, the recording. Give me a couple days to edit it and put it up there for you, but it will be up there, I promise. I'm Alex, I'm the host. If you have any follow-up questions or items, anything you'd like to see, if you have a data visualization that you would like to present on a future OA Live, please send me an email. My email is my first dot my last name @Oracle. And our agenda. So we're going to start out taking a look at some data visualizations. We'll cover the favorite sports analytics. We'll take a look at the new community website. We'll have some information on the Fusion Analytics strategy. We'll have demos with FAW, the new OAC features for May, as well as a natural hazard data visualization that we will show to wrap it up, kind of end on a fun note there. And of course, the live session for the Q&A at the end. So let's get started, and I'm going to pass it over to Ben.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. This is Ben from Product Strategy. I wanted to say thank you to everyone that joined the Gartner Data and Analytics Summit in London. It was just, I think, yesterday and the day before. We got a lot of customers joining, a lot of users. So thank you again for doing that. On the next slide, I want also to thank all the different Oracle Analytic leaders. So as you know, we have a huge community at Oracle. We have thousands and thousands, if not millions of users using Oracle Analytic Cloud. But we are also speaking every day to a lot of Oracle Analytic leaders from top companies like Vanguard, Dropbox, PayPal, Kaiser Permanente, Outfront Media, and more. So all these leaders are here, for example, for 2022. I want to thank you for helping us to shape the product with new features. But we are going also to disclose and to show the new Oracle Analytic leader for 2023. So stay tuned. It's going to be probably around June or July or even close to Cloud World. We will show the new list of the new Oracle leaders, all the people that are helping the Oracle product management and product strategy every day to bring more AI function, more machine learning features, more data visualization to Oracle Analytics. On the next slide, I wanted to show you also the art of possible. You saw that a couple of times. So for example, here it's Cargo Analytic. Every month, myself and my team, we are trying to build new data visualization to show you the art of possible. I know Fari has been working on some statistical data visualization. We have Jamie working on anomaly detection, data visualization. We will show that next month. We have also Alex working on the sentiment analysis data visualization. And today you are going to see new demo of data visualization. So on the next slide, for example, you are going to see an airport data visualization. That one is one of the first we created. On the next slide, you are going also to see a data visualization on using background image, using conditional formatting on the data visualization. On the next slide, you are going also to see one popular data visualization that we use for the Formula One simulator. Even Max Verstappen used the Formula One simulator and this data visualization. It's built directly on Oracle Analytic, linked to the simulator in real time. And if you come to Cloud World in Vegas, you will see that, you will be able to test it. And then really quick to finish the presentation, on the next slide, you are going to see a roll of different data visualization we created in the past years. And if you send me your visualization, we will add that to the next presentation. So again, thank you for joining. And Jamie, you can take it from here.
Great, thank you. I shared my video, but it looks like I cannot right now, so I'll keep going. Alex, you can go to the next slide. I want everyone to check out our Oracle Analytics blogs. We have a lot of great updates, new blogs being added very often. Most recently, our colleague Fari on the product strategy team, one of our colleagues with Ben and Alex and myself, she has a blog on the Oracle Analytics Advanced Statistical Features. So please check that out. We're going to put a link in the chat, and so you can go and read our blogs. So thank you. I'll pass it back to whoever's next. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jamie and Ben. And I'm not sure if Emily is going to be able to join us. She's having some network issues, but I will show you a place where you can access the blogs easily. Now we'll move over to the sports analytic updates. I know this is always a favorite for everyone. And we have Andres. Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. I'm happy to be here. My name is Andres Quintana. I'm a senior product manager with Oracle Analytics Product Strategy, and I'll be providing a brief update on sports analytics today. So the Premier League has a tradition of celebrating players as they achieve career milestones, such as 100 or 200 career goals scored. They want to create a new and unique way to present the fans with player career data to highlight how these players have progressed through their storied careers. These interactive and highly branded dashboards were developed. They empower fans to explore the key details that led to players' milestone achievements. You can go to the next slide, please. Due to the Premier League's very large social media following, these dashboards needed to be architected to prepare for a high number of concurrent users. They were also designed to be responsive to any viewing platform, such as mobile phones, tablets, or computers. If you could play the video, please. So in the video that is playing, you're seeing the mobile experience from Son Heung-min's 100th career goal milestone. Knowing that the Premier League has an extremely active fan community on social media, it was utilized to deliver interactive performance data directly to the fans. And we'll make sure that this link is in the chat so that you can experience it for yourself on whichever platform that you choose. Can we go to the next slide? So embedded analytics and interactive data is not just for sports fans. Customers across a variety of industries are also demanding the ability to be hands-on with data. Financial clients want to be able to explore and interact with their data, allowing them to see their spending habits visualized. This can benefit clients that are pursuing financial goals or want to be more hands-on with managing investments. And the next slide, please. As we shift gears to our Oracle Red Bull Racing esports partnership, you'll see the integration of esports data and analytics into their virtual racing paddock. This gives fans an engaging experience by letting them upload their very own data from their home simulators, PlayStations, Xboxes, or whichever, and compare themselves to Max. Thank you for your time. The link is right there, and I hope that we can see you on the paddock soon.
Thanks for that update. And do we have any of these dashboards or similar dashboards on the OAC public?
Currently, a few of them are down for maintenance and other issues, but they will be back up very soon.
Okay, cool. We will put that link in there for you to check out, and you can check out some of the ones Ben showed, and then also our final one to wrap up today, you can find there also. Let's see. And I don't have Emily on. She's having some networking issues, so I'm going to do my best to cover her section, so bear with me. And if you have any questions, you can, of course, email Emily as well. It's going to be her first dot, her last name at Oracle. So we have this new analytics community website. If you are familiar with Cloud Customer Connect, it's just a branch off of that. So it's really a central hub for all the information. Here's the link here, and I will also put that in the chat when I have a second. So what you can find on here, you're going to be able to find You'll be able to find blogs like Jamie mentioned. You'll be able to register for analytics events like this and other ones. There's so many other events that the team is holding that you'll be able to find there. You'll be able to find the past recordings and PDFs there as well. You can connect with your community. You can ask questions not only from the Oracle team, but partners, users, peers. You can connect with them on there. The Idea Lab is linked through there. If you have a feature suggestion, you can post it there. So really what you're seeing from the Cloud Customer Connect side, we just did a little branch for analytics. So everything is analytics related is in one spot. It's easier for you to find, and we will put that link in the chat. And I don't have the demo to show you, but we'll put the link there. It's really easy to navigate. You'll be able to find the blogs, everything we talk about here. We're trying to provide you with resources so you can stay up to date. You're able to connect. We're able to grow, not just you at your company, but we want to be able to grow an analytics community here at Oracle.
Alex, if you want, I have the website open right now. We can share really quick.
That would be perfect. Thanks, Ben.
Let's do that just 1 second. And here we go. So this is the new website. And you can see that at the top, you can go to category and access different forum. I can go, for example, to Oracle Analytic Cloud Forum. If I click here, and you will see some question, how to schedule an OAC workbook as an email notification. You can go also to the ID Lab and click, for example, on Oracle Analytic Cloud. And you will see all the IDs requested by different people. I can go to the top IDs and automatically it will filter by the top one. Remember, if you have an ID like that one, scheduling a data visualization or project as an email, vote for the ID. And if we have close, I think, to 50 or 100 IDs, it's how it's added to the roadmap. You have Hall of Fame, training with a lot of resources, support with different resources and more. So back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Ben, for helping me out there. Okay, let's move on. Let me share my screen back out. Alrighty, so we're going to move over for analytics strategy for Oracle Cloud Applications with Danielle. Welcome.
Sorry, I was on mute. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us today. My name is Danielle Chickaswamy. I help support the Fusion Analytics business for Oracle's cloud application customers. Today, before we get into a demo that my counterpart Sohail is going to show, I'm just going to quickly go over just a few little slides to show our strategy for the application. So next slide, Alex. So Fusion Analytics, for those of you who do not know, it is purpose-built for our Fusion Cloud application customers. That means ERP, supply chain, HCM, and CX. The solution comes with Oracle managed pre-built data pipelines to bring in your data and make it available for you. That way our customers do not have to do any ETL. The data is there, it's unbiased, and it's ready for you to use with thousands of pre-built metrics. In addition, the solution comes with Oracle Analytics Cloud, as many of you are familiar with, and the Autonomous Data Warehouse to provide the opportunity to have both pre-built out-of-the-box KPIs, metrics with your Fusion SaaS data, and the opportunity to customize, extend, and bring in any third-party data. So next slide. With that said, our company, as we do with our OAC and all of our analytics products, we are continuing to innovate and add more and more metrics, subject areas, business questions, and areas that our customers are interested in leveraging, whether it's for your financial data, your HCM data, or including more pre-built connectors and managed data pipelines for third-party data sources. So this will continue to grow. And next slide, Alex. And with that said, I will put this link in the chat. We do have a public-facing Fusion Analytics Content Explorer that does run on our Oracle Analytics Cloud. You will see here each of the business questions that are immediately answered for you, the subject areas, the metrics, and how these KPIs are provided for our customers. This will be continued to we'll continue to update with more and more metrics. And we do, like we mentioned with our community, we like to hear and gain feedback on how our roadmap will be impacted to help support all of your needs. So with that, I'll put it in the chat and we can pass it over to Sohail. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Danielle. And I think you're putting the link in the chat, but I think that can also be found on the OAC public website. I think I remember something familiar there.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so now let's move over and check out a demo on what we just saw. Sohail, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Alex. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and even good night for those of you who are in India. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm happy to be here and then talk about Fusion Analytics. Expand a little bit on what my colleague Danielle talked about. Next slide, please. So if you look at the the glittering demo that my colleagues presented about OAC, there is no doubt that Oracle Analytics is capable of creating these stunning visualizations that you can use, which are very easy to use and very intuitive. But Oracle also wants to take this one step further and then go down a level deep into the data itself. So what Oracle has done is, for the Fusion customers, we have created what we call as a Fusion Analytics line, where the entire data, right, from your Fusion ERP, supply chain, or human capital management is brought over, and it is maintained, managed by Oracle, right? So you don't have to worry about the ETL, ELT, all of those tasks that keep us at night. Those are all managed by Oracle. So that is, you just throw that over the fence to Oracle, and you spend your time where it is really needed, in innovating, in creating those slick-looking reports, analyses, and dashboards. So I'm going to quickly walk in and then show you what exactly is Fusion Analytics, and then quickly give you an understanding. Just to conserve bandwidth, I'm going to go off video, and here is my okay, yeah, perfect. Share my screen, wonderful. So what you're seeing on the screen is the landing page of Fusion Analytics. I am logged in as supply chain and finance director, Ann Locke, and since she is in the management, she has more purview, not just one line of business, but across multiple businesses, because even though she is focused on finance and supply chain, there are people that are working in her department, so she needs to keep a tab of that, and there are other budget related activities. So when you land on this particular page, you see that it has information that is presented in form of key performance indicator cards, and then these key performance indicator cards can be then arranged in decks. So you can have an overview deck, or a working capital deck, or a profit and loss deck, all the way to supply chain and human capital management. So the idea behind these KPI cards and the decks is that you get a lot of information in the quickest amount of time, so you can basically go in and start understanding. For instance, Anne has logged in and she can keep an eye on all aspects of her business. There is revenue, there is some finance information, there is some supply chain information, and also information about some contract and spend, and finally information from human capital management. So the advantage that Anne has is that she can look at one single pane of glass and have analytics arranged so that she can go from one line of business to another line of business with ease. For instance, she is focusing on the AP invoices process. Now this is the data that has been sourced from Fusion Cloud, Fusion ERP Cloud, and then she has got the information here to understand what exactly is happening. Back in 2021 Q3 and Q4, you see the invoice processing was really high compared to what exactly happening in the 22 Q3 period. So she can quickly right click and go down to the details and find out what exactly is happening. Now she has a wide variety of choice here. She can drill into the time dimension, business unit, accounts, and several other folders. She basically chooses to go into business unit and find out what exactly is happening, from a processing perspective. And she sees that, okay, there are two business units who were performing back then. But then when she looks at the current scenario, does the same thing, goes into the business unit, she basically sees that there is only one business unit that is processing. Now, this could be a problem because, now because of the, several ups and downs we've had across, our global front with the COVID and the supply chain disruption and many others, maybe that is because, that's, there is not a lot of processing happening. But, she can also take another angle. She can say, okay, okay, only one business unit was active, but let me understand how many people were working on it. So she can then go down and look at the created by and use the full username and find out, all right, there were 3 people in one business unit, and then she can replicate that same analysis for the more recent time periods. So the idea here is very quickly Anne can go from a summary level, and then she can quickly jump into the deep dive into the transactional level, and she sees that only Roger is working here. So now there seems to be some kind of a personnel issue. There is some kind of problem she is having from a staffing purview. But more importantly, she wants to understand what exactly is this non-performance or non-processing of invoice is having on her business. So she quickly jumps in and uses the attached analysis, deep dive analysis, to go in and look at the business impact. So not only does she understand where the bottleneck is, but she can also quickly understand what impact that is happening on her business front, because more equally important to the staffing is keeping her suppliers happy. So here she sees that there is over 4.2 million overdue, and then there are about 27 invoices, and along with this she can have aging information and the suppliers who we owe. And then more importantly, the next business question is, we have 4.2 million on hold, right? Overdue. How many of these are on hold? So that information is also co-located, easily discoverable by our business users. So of the 4.2 million, she's got about 1 million that is on hold. And for what reason, right? Very simple reasons. POs don't match. Employee has not approved. Now, this could be because of the staffing shortage we are having, that there are not enough people. So she can quickly go in and take action. Now, she can basically understand, who our top suppliers are and why we are, running into these problems. But if you noticed, she was able to quickly jump in from a high-level overview to transaction level details and then understand the core problem. The KPI cards provide some other unique advantages. There is year-over-year trending, there is target setting, there is also what you call conditional highlighting that basically enables you to monitor by exception, meaning you don't have to log into the platform to understand. You can simply set the threshold, and then the tool will basically intimate you or communicate with you if the threshold has been breached. So if it goes above or beyond the threshold that you have set, you will get notification and you can quickly come in and start looking at the problem and try to understand. So ladies and gentlemen, the power of the platform that Fusion Analytics provides is not only does it transport data from your Fusion Cloud, but it also creates these, nice to, work with KPI cards. And there are, as you saw Daniel showed, there are hundreds of these. We've got thousands of pre-built content that comes out of the box, and all of them have a purpose in mind. If you notice here, there is a business process called record to report, and then there is procure to pay, and then there is also what you call order to cash, recruit to onboard. So these metrics that are created are not just at women fancy. They are created to support your business processes. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was a quick overview of what Fusion Analytics is and how you can benefit by deploying this in your environments. Thank you for your time and appreciate the opportunity. Alex, over to you.
Thank you. That was a great presentation, very insightful on Fusion Analytics. Let me just switch back over here. Would that work? No, it's, oh, there we go. Yep. All right, let's move forward. Thank you so much. Now we're going to roll over to the OAC side. We're going to take a look at the May features that were released with Avinash. Thanks for joining.
Hey, thank you, Alex. Hey, everyone. I'm here to provide an update of our May 2023 features with the OAC update. If you can move to the next slide. We have released a bunch of new exciting features. I have some screenshots of some of these critical capabilities that I'd like this group to pay attention to. And if you move on to the next slide, we also have a detailed product demos, in our Oracle Analytics YouTube channel. These demo videos will be more demonstrative of the feature capabilities, with the step-by-step instruction as well, and with the use case explaining, how to use these features for your business requirements. So let's move on. The next slide is essentially a parameter update. As you know, we launched parameters in DB that addresses presentation variable use cases that Classic BI supports today. And we continue to invest heavily on parameters through the rest of the year. With the May 2023 update, two critical updates. When you create a parameter, now you can also pass the parameter values as part of data action, especially when you are wanting the user to navigate from workbook A to workbook B, or if you want a parameter value to be passed as part of your URL context. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that it's a use case of data action of type analytics link, which is anchored to a specific column. And the target is a detailed report, which is, the author is trying to send the user from a summary to detailed report. And when you select a detailed, a different workbook that you want the user to navigate to, you would see this new option to pass the parameter values in addition to the filter values that data action supports today. And you get to choose if you want to pass all the parameter values or select certain custom parameter values that is available as part of your source workbook definition. On the right-hand side of the screen is another example of data action where when the user selects a specific mark in a visualization and performs a data action, the value that they select is passed to the parameter, and that parameter value is then embedded within a Google search URL. So in this case, if a user is performing a data action on city, the city value gets passed to the Google search URL, and the user basically sees a Google a browser open with the Google search for the search phrase that they passed as part of the data action. So it's a pretty powerful feature to pass parameters as part of workbook navigation use cases. Next slide, please. A couple of minor enhancements. When you create a parameter, there is no need to default an initial value. If you remember, if you use parameters with the March update, the user had to basically provide a default initial value before they can save the parameter. And based on feedback from our user community, we basically removed that mandatory field, and we made initial value as the optional field. And we also made it easier for the user to specify an initial value. You can see that first possible value is an option that they can use to set the initial value. So in this example, on the right-hand side, the parameter is fetching a list of values for the city column from the data set that the user is working on. And the first value returned by the query will be set as the initial value with the first possible value option. So a couple of minor enhancements that improve the efficiency of parameters overall. Let's go on to the next slide. There's a new aggregate functionality that's available with the May 2023 update. This is a very critical and powerful functionality, and I'd highly recommend folks to review the demo in the YouTube channel. There are four use cases that we will support using this new functionality. The first is you will be able to aggregate an attribute column, right? So today, when you drop a attribute column into the measure grammar section of the visualization, it automatically bins, right? And sometimes, the user does not want to bin, right? They simply want to see, I want to aggregate a column that is of attribute type. Take customer ID as a good example, right? You just want to see the count of distinct customers based on the customer ID column. So you could do that, with the example that's shown on the screen below. You can also change the aggregation on a calculation, right? So your calculations could, today you can do that on a property panel for each of the measures. With this functionality within the grammar panel, you can right click on the measure and you would see the new aggregate option, right? Which is defaulted to auto. In most cases, it's sum, but you also see a list of aggregate options that's available for the user to pick and choose from. In addition to that, when you're working on tables, you can add grand totals to the table, right? And you may want to summarize or aggregate your detailed data to a different grain, but you want your grand totals to always be a sum, to always be a count, or to be an average, right? So we now provide the functionality of allowing the author to aggregate the grand totals of the table visualization differently to what the detailed data aggregation is being used. And lastly, you can aggregate a metric column, right? For example, if you drop a measure like discount rate into your canvas, it's going to show you a singular value. And when you right click and treat the measure as an attribute, right, which is the last option that you see on the screen, essentially the product is now going to treat that measure column as an attribute, and it's going to show you the granular data that made up that whole sum number, right? And if you have time towards the end of my presentation, I'll show a couple of demos in this particular area. A critical capability, again, super useful, and our customers have been asking for this for quite some time. So I'm really excited for this feature. Next slide, please. Dynamic annotations. So we have improved the conditional formatting rules and added an enhancement that allow you to specify a note, right, an annotation, and apply the note as part of the rule definition. And what happens is when the rule is executed every time the dashboard runs, every time the data refreshes, the product will automatically create annotations and tie it to the specific mark, right? Again, a very powerful capability where the user is simply defining a rule in this case, and the rule is looking at profit difference is less than or equal to minus 30, right? And it's essentially applying the rule and adding the note based on the definition that you see here. And it's tying that note to the respective marks, or to the data points where the rule passed. And this allows the author to move away from the manual notes creation, right, which is very difficult to maintain as the data changes, and being able to specify the note or the details as part of the conditional formatting rule and dynamically evaluate at every runtime is going to be extremely helpful and a great user experience for the consumer users as well. Next slide is we'll talk about conditional formatting support for maps. As you all know, that maps was a visualization that did not have support for conditional formatting. With the May 2023 update, we are supporting conditional formatting rules on map. Here you can see that a rule has been applied to a specific layer of a map, and then I don't have the rule definition, but the legend basically shows that the profit greater than 0 is marked as green, and then the rest of the territories or falling below the profit less than 0 threshold, right? One thing to note about conditional formatting maps is that the dynamic annotation feature that we saw in the previous slide, that is not available for maps yet, but that's part of the roadmap. Our first step with maps was to support the basic conditional formatting, and then we'll expand the capabilities of supporting dynamic annotations on maps as well. Next slide. Role-based filters is a very powerful feature within the data prep area. This allows you to constrain data based on roles, right? If you don't want your users to see certain data, then you can simply click on this filter icon on the top that will open up a header section on the top of the data prep editor, allowing you to choose a specific role. In this case, the user is selecting not region as a role, and then they are adding an expression filter where region equals not. What this really does is it looks at all the people who belong to the not region user group. If they are part of that group, they only get to see data for region equals not, right? They do not get to see data for other regions. So this allows the data analyst or the data administrator in this case to define and constrain the data that they want to show to their authors based on specific roles. Next slide, Alex.
I think that's the last.
Okay,
so we
all
have
right,
some
that's the
time
last
if you
one.
want to
So,
demo.
yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. I'll do a couple of quick demos on the aggregate functionality. So share my screen here. So I'm working on this sample order lines data set. So let me drop customer ID, right? So this is an attribute column. And naturally, when you drop it into the canvas, it's going to show me all of the 1,000 plus customers. Now, I do not know how many customers I have. So now with the aggregate function, what I can do is right click on customer ID, go to the aggregate menu and do a count or count distinct, right? So when I do a count distinct, now it tells me that we have a total of 2,681 customers, as part of this data set. Now, once you aggregate that attribute as a measure, you see that the data type is now changed to a measure in the grammar panel. It is still an attribute in the data source panel, right? The scope of the aggregation is part of this this visualization only. Now, once you change the aggregation, you have the option to add this to my calc, right? So this will essentially create a calc. And when you look at the definition, it's doing a count distinct of customer ID, right? Now, without the aggregate and without the right-click aggregate function, granted that you could have still written this calculation to get the customer ID, but think of the efficiency that we have provided improved, right, with this right-click option. Now, once you have the aggregate, the new aggregation on top of the attribute, you can slice and dice this data any way you want, right? So it's still going to it's going to function as a metric. So let me go here and add a grand total. And you can see that the grand total is still showing me the count of 2,681. You can continue to slice and dice. It's basically going to keep the count of customers, the same. And because I have a grand total, right, I might want to change the aggregation of my grand total, right? So let me make it a little bit simple. So I'll remove product category from this table. And if I want to show the average number of customers, right, that span across my different customer segments, I can go to the grand total okay, here. Oh, okay, here. Well, maybe the server does not have. So there's an option in the property panel that you would see on the video where it will allow you to basically, oh, here it is. So on the count of customer, on the measured properties, right? So you can see that the aggregation is changed to count distinct based on the right-click option that we shown. And you can also change the grain of the by data, right? By default, it's using customer segment. You can continue to use other columns that are part of your visualization, or select columns that are part of the data set, which is still not part of your visualization, right? The one thing I was looking for is to show you the grand total aggregation change. It looks like I don't have that in this server, but if you look at the video basically demonstrates how to change the aggregation type of the grand total in particular, right? The last thing I want to show is when you build histograms today, so let me actually bring in quantity ordered, right? So this is a measure, so I'm going to put this into a tabular format. There's about 127K volume of quantity ordered, right? And you may want to see the distribution of quantity orders, right? So you want to unaggregate this particular measure to its granular data. And you do that by reverse engineering, by changing this quantity ordered from a measure to an attribute column. When you do that, it shows you the distribution of number of quantities that the customers have, that different customers have ordered at a different point in time. You want to now see the number of customers that have ordered that fall under these different quantity ordered bucket. So we added this calculation of count distinct of customer ID earlier. So I'm going to bring this calculation here. Now this is now going to show me the distribution of customers, right? For example, 360 customers bought 1 unit of the quantity versus 202 customers bought 17 units of the same quantity, right? And you can start to visualize this, and this is going to build a nice histogram view. So with a couple of clicks, you're now able to perform some powerful actions of changing the aggregation type of a specific column in the data set, and make your analysis more efficient and powerful, as part of your content curation process. So I'll stop here, and if there are any questions, post it on Q&A. I'll be happy to take them. Thanks, Alex. Back to you.
Thanks, Avinash. That was a really great overview of our May features that are released. I am going to share my screen. Give me one moment. Alrighty, so now to wrap up, we are going to move on to our natural hazard data visualization. Something fun to end it on with Paco. Paco, thank you for joining us. We're excited to see what you have.
Thank you, Alex. Let me share my screen for a second. All right, so my name is Paco. I work as a program manager for the Data Center Analytics team within Oracle. And this is a project that I was working on, and I decided to send it over to this amazing team. Thank you for having me, so we can present it. What we're seeing here is the combination of what we call power plants within the US and natural hazards. In this case, we're looking at Arizona. And what we're looking at here on the first table on the left is the National Risk Index. In this case, is the score and the rating, where the score is a combination of multiple things. Among those things, we have the natural hazards on the right. The number, which is the score, is also explained by the rating, which is a qualitative measure of what that score means. In this case, it means it's relative moderate, and is color-coded with a yellow, which is also using the color coding for the county of La Paz in Arizona, just like Avinash explained a few minutes ago. And at the same time, we're also looking at the comparison of that rating and that score within the average score and the state score. So if this specific county has a score of 13, and then the average score is 10, and then the state average score is 23, that leaves us with a relative moderate score. Now, once we select other counties, in this case, Navajo, we can see on the tooltip that Navajo, Arizona has, for example, a population of 107,000 inhabitants per the 2016 census, along with a square mile area of 9.9 miles. And at the same time, we can see that the colors change. So if the county here is orange, it means that the score is 37, which is relatively high, along with the comparison. And we can see that the natural hazards on the right have also changed from what we consider yellow or light blue to a more orange and red colors, where the main hazard is, in this case, wildfire and drought. And if we look at the second level of information that this dashboard provides, we can see that Navajo, Arizona, or any other county, let's click on this guy, for example, we can see the breakdown of power plants that each county has. In this case, it's easy for us to identify that, wow, 69% of the power in megawatts comes from natural gas. And if we look at this, it will give us the breakdown of the plant names that county has, along with how much installed capacity megawatts they have with the primary source. And if we go and look closer, for example, to any county, we can see that for Maricopa, which is the main county within Arizona, we have multiple plants. And all those multiple plants, they produce roughly 18,000 megawatts, where we can see the largest outlier, which is nuclear plant. And if we hover over that purple circle, we can see that that plant name is Palo Verde in the city of Wintersburg, and the main source is nuclear power. And we can do that with all the other points which represent power plants across any state within the map. So if we also do zoom out, now we have Illinois. And if we click on any county on Illinois, all the widgets will update and reflect the information for that specific county. And the last feature that this tool has is, let me zoom in so we can do a better example, is this widget here called natural language, which basically explains the composition of the counties we're looking at when it's looking at all the power sources that it has. Just give it a second for the data to refresh. And there you go. In this case, we have too many data points for the tool to provide a right assessment. But if we click on any other county, for example, Cook County in Illinois, we can see that, wow, that one is pretty high. And that's it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Paco. That was super cool. Very, very entertaining. If you want to check it out for yourself and play around with it, I put the link. It is going to be on that OAC public website. All right, let me share my screen again. I'm going to throw a poll up here. If you could kindly answer it for me. I just want to know, on a scale from 1 to 10, how informative you thought today's meeting was, 10 being the best, 1 being needs a little work. Let me know. And again, if you have something particular you'd like to see, or you have a DV that you'd like to share that you built, that can be public facing, obviously, send me an email. We'd love to have you. We'd love your feedback. Moving forward, this is, we're almost at the end of Oracle's fiscal year here. So after May and June, we will start planning the OA Lives for next year. We will come out with a schedule. I will make it easy, so when you register, it has all of them listed under the Zoom, so it's easy to find and track. I know we had some switch over this past year, so thank you for bearing with me. I will make it easier going forward, I promise, and we will let you know what that updated schedule will be for next year, next Oracle year, still this year. All right, so we are gonna move over to answering any questions that might be in the Q&A section. So Oracle team, if you see something that might be regarding what you covered today, please feel free to jump in. We'll answer them out loud.
So I think we already answered maybe 15 of them. Checking really quick what we have. We see we have something, if the REST API for automated migration of selective OAC component is currently not available, what is the roadmap for this? So I think, Avinash, for the REST API to migrate components, I think it's already there, or maybe in the next release.
Yeah, I'm not specific. I don't have the details of the roadmap item. So I did respond to the user's previous comment, asking him to send me an email. I'll connect. We need to have Mike Duran respond to that question.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I see another one, which is, what are the roles that I need to implement OA? And there is another question for the same. What are the roles that I need to implement Oracle Analytic? We have ERP Cloud. So Jamie, do you want to take that one?
So there are some multiple options here. So if you're looking for Oracle Analytics, you can connect to ERP Cloud through Oracle Analytics, specifically regarding the roles themselves. I don't know how to exactly answer that, but then in addition, and I don't know if this is what you were asking about, but we did show Fusion Analytics as well. And so that is a separate product from Oracle Analytics. And so that would take your some of your roles and some out-of-the-box metrics and attributes and put them into Fusion Analytics. And you get the capabilities of Oracle Analytics with it as well. So I hope that helped answer your question. But yeah.
Perfect. We have another one about Oracle Data Sync. What is the roadmap for Oracle Data Sync? How much time we can use the Oracle Data Sync? What is the next ETL tool we can use? So for DataSync, I don't think we have a roadmap with us today. We can follow up offline on that, Sandra Pandian. So if you want, you can drop us an email. If you don't have our email, you can catch us on LinkedIn, and we will follow up. I don't think it's being decommissioned. We will give you a clear roadmap on that. Perfect. I don't think we have much more questions. So thank you everyone
Sorry, Ben, just want to.
Oh yeah, sure.
One quick update. There was a user who was asking a question if conditional formatting is supported on non-map custom layers. I just want to respond by saying that yes, we would support conditional formatting on non-map layers. I'm not able to find that question, so I just wanted to answer that live.
Perfect. Thanks, Avinash. So thanks everyone for joining today. And Alex, I'll let you close the webinar. You're on mute.
I'm on mute. Thanks everyone for joining us. We will have this up on YouTube, on the new community website, recorded, the PDF available. Give me a few days. It'll probably be later next week that I'll have it out there for you. If you have any questions, as Ben said, you can email us or send us a message on LinkedIn. It was nice seeing you all here for this May, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.